What's up, everybody? Here we are, the after show, but later, episode number 343. It's your boys D, Luis Cortez Jr., and we are here for another live episode. I'm so excited about today, dog, because, you know what? I'm going to have to pull something up. Actually, you know what? Maybe I could pull it up as we're talking. But I forgot to pull up my notes, dog. And I purposely started saving them to like a OneDrive and shit, so I can access them like anywhere. Because I'm like, I always forget, dog, to like print them out and shit. So I have to have them somewhere where I can access that all the time, you know? But anyway, dog, how's your week going?
Good, man. Happy Taco Tuesday. Thanks for having me, bro. Thanks for anyone who's out there live and then anyone in the future dudes. But it's good, bro. Summer already. Well, summer's not here officially, but it's hot as shit. I know you stay in the state of beautiful Arizona. I'm in Nevada, bro. I think it was like a buck 7 today or some shit. It's already getting ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, no, same here, dog. The other day it was, damn, what was it? It was like 106, 107 like that. And I was gonna go do some yard work. And my buddy Luis was in town, so he was like, he was heading back, and I called him, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this and this. He's like, dude, it's fucking hot, you're gonna die. And I was like, dog, it's cool, but I think I might have got like some kind of heat exhaustion, dog, because I was after that. It took me a minute like to recover, dog. I had like Gatorades and shit, and I was like, fucking felt all pedo and shit. So, dog, it's hitting us hard already. Yeah. So that he ain't.
I'm in Rich's house today, fool.
Are you? I don't get it. What is it?
Because I'm right here inside the mall, inside the malls in his yard.
Oh, chilling. You know what, dog? I actually needed an update from you. Can you start us off with that? Because I saw that on the notes that they put on their descriptions, but I missed that. What happened?
Well, Rich was just talking about his yard, and he's fighting some gophers right now. Or anyone who's had a nice yard, or if you ever been on a golf course somewhere, or moles or whatever. I don't know if those are the same anyway, but. Yeah, I guess him and the kid, he was complaining that there was one in his yard, and he was fucking, he's all about his yard. He's Mr. Rich Brown Thumb. But yeah, I guess him and the kids are like, yo, how do they do that? And like, why do they do that? So I guess him and the kids looked up some YouTube videos on like how the mole rats or gophers, do what they do. And some fool on YouTube like trap one and pull one inside. You know how they usually like do like a plexiglass and you can kind of see what's going on and shit?
Yeah.
Like for experiment. So they were just showing. Rich was saying they saw a video on YouTube where some guy, they dig all this shit out, and then with their teeth, they dig it out, and they push all the dirt out to basically make a tunnel. But and then Covino was saying maybe it was just or Spot, I think, was saying that it was the Mexicans trying to dig a tunnel already on to try to get over the wall from his neighbor's wall and shit. So yeah, I'm coming at you live.
How did
from
I
Rich's
miss
yard.
all that, dog?
Yeah.
Oh damn. All right, now I have to pull something up real quick. There we go. All right. But okay, so I missed that. I did see it on the notes, and I was just like, dog, I was like, what the hell are they talking about right here? But I'm glad you got to fill me in. They moved to summer hours. I don't know how that's working out for you. If you're liking it, are you loving it? Are you hating it? What's going on with that? How do you feel?
It's cool, like when I'm in the office, I guess, because I'm at the spot, so I can do. It doesn't bother me, I guess. But when I'm in the field, I usually listen on not live. So I thought it was fun. It doesn't bother me, I guess. I think when they put the poll up, there's only so many really people that listen live. So I guess for them, it might bother them. The rest of them are listen on demand. But I just thought it was funny, and I seen you call him out on the chat when he was like, "Oh, I get an extra hour to do all this shit because the kids and food and breakfast and all this shit." While
yeah, he's full of shit because later he was just talking about Rich was like, he said something, dog, about like later he said something about like sleeping in or some shit, and I was like,
yeah.
So was all that you just said bullshit? Because he was literally like, oh no, I have to for personal reasons and all this shit, and then later, when he forgot about the argument he was trying to make, he was like, yeah, something about sleeping in, and because the kids are out of school and all this. And I was like, dog, so you just want to fucking sleep in? I'm like, I don't know, dog. I don't, and it actually has worked out for me because it works out better, just that extra hour. But at the same time, I'm a creature of habit and I like my routine, so I'm used to that routine already. Even though like some meetings and shit kind of start at 8 or 9, so it does work out for me. But at the same time, dog, it's just like, and before it ends, like before I go to lunch, now it ends like through my lunch, so I get to kind of really listen and shit, because as much as we're chatting and shit, like on the in-show chat, you're working, so you're kind of half listening and saying your 2 cents or whatever. It kind of lets me fully actually engage and pay attention. So I don't hate it, but I think, dog, again, I think what bothers me the most is just be real, just be like, dog, be like, it's the summer, the kids are out of school, so they're sleeping in, Sarah don't have to be up or whatever, so I just want to sleep that extra hour or whatever. Then dog, okay, cool. But I think what bothers me is I think that's what bothers me the most is when people try to pull shit, like they think they're pulling one over on you, and you're like, just be real. You know what I'm saying? Just say what you feel. I don't know.
I think the worst part about it is like, Dick, you're in your house, fool. Like and he even said like he don't have any shoes on. Like motherfucker's rolling out of bed, brushing his fucking teeth, if that, grabbing some breakfast, maybe grabbing a chichi, and then like, oh, I gotta get ready for the show because he does. We're already bashing on Rich. It's too early, but he doesn't do any notes. He doesn't do prep. Covino usually does all that, but I thought it was funny. Like I said, it doesn't bother me, but I think it's funny how I think you caught him in a lie when he was like, yeah, I had to sleep in. I'm like, bitch, weren't you just saying you were making breakfast and like had to do all this list of shit? But hey, whatever, bro. Yeah. Hey, shout out to my one of my high school coaches. He's on here right here. Thanks for joining us.
Is that Hugo?
Yeah.
Escalera?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hell yeah. What up, Hugo? Thanks for joining. And everybody else, we have Reinhardt in here. Fournier, I saw Andrew Fournier got a nice little shout out today. And then Funky Monkey, it's crazy, dog, because Funky Monkey has been following the after show for a minute. And it's crazy because her daughters are about my daughter's age. And it's so crazy because like in my mind, I still picture them like younger. And she's been posting pictures of like their little like ROTC things and whatever. And I'm like, dog, it's crazy to see like everybody growing up because like I see my kid every day. So now that she's like older, it's like, yeah, she's like an older kid. But then when I see Funky Monkey's kids, I'm like, oh, damn, that's Mila. That's freaking, So it's kind of cool to see. So Funky Monkey, I appreciate you joining. And yeah, man, I hope Hugo becomes a regular listener. So we'll try not to be so Covino and Rich centric so we can actually have you engaged. And let us know, too, if there's anything that you need in the chat that you want us to talk about. Doesn't have to be Covino and Rich related. We'll just give our 2 cents.
You know what's funny? I don't know how much time he has, but if and when you show that picture of me with the wig on, he might remember me. That's the guy he remembers when I was growing up.
Let's pull it right now. I think we should. I mean, if this is a good time to pull it, I think Luis, we gotta pull this. So here's the Louis that Hugo remembers, and let me give you a quick little backstory before we jumped on today. I was like making sure, I had everything ready to pull like the pictures and videos or whatever. And I'm like, so you sent me this one? I'm like, where you're wearing a wig? And he's like, dog, that's not a wig. That's my hair. So if you guys want to check this out, here's Luis right here. And oh my good dog, there's this. Now tell me if you guys saw this right now, say Luis sent this to you, would you not think that was a wig? Dog, I think what makes it look even more wiggy is how thick it is, dog. Like, holy shit. Are you sure? Because now that I look at it, the more I look at it, the more it looks like a wig to me. Are you sure that's your hair?
Bro, I got that Mexican lush, bro. So just a little backstory on that, right? The reason I wanted to share that because Covino and Rich were talking about labels. Back in the day, who had one? You get labeled. You hang out with the jocks, you were a jock. You hang out with the skaters, you were a skater, right? So what's funny about it is, as he coached laughing was, we played football, bro. BG Trece, Gurkha, people knows what's up. And like, it was part of the protocol that you had to look a certain way and talk a certain way and, grades and eat and shit. So if you were a part of the football team, it was a no clip food, like 1 or a 0 or no clip. There was no crazy shit. Everyone had to look the same, play the part. And so basically for 3.5 years while I was in football, it was like zero clipping it. And then once we were in the last season, basically, usually football season ends like what, December, January. I still had like 4 or 5 months before I graduated. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I can do whatever I want with my hair. I let that shit grow out. And I was always like talking labels like punker, emo kid, skater guy. So, I had the skinny jeans and you name it. You can see now I got the skunk stripe. But so
it looks pretty
bro,
cool.
That was me.
I mean, I'm not talking about the wig picture. That picture, I think I don't want to say anything weird because I still think it's a wig. But your look right now, Doug, with that little stripe, that shit looks dope. I think it looks hella cool.
I'm upgrading my avatar food. But yeah, bro, it was funny because it's funny coaches here and you get to see that, but that's what it was. And they're like, hey, this fucking Louis, look who he is. But did you have a label, bro, growing up? Or who did you get labeled with or what back in the day?
Oh, I had that cool label like the fat kid. It's probably the most famous one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I really didn't have like a label. All the Mexicans called me white boy. All the white boys called me a Mexican. I don't know, dog. Like, there wasn't really, because I didn't have like there was like the gothic kids and the skater kids. Like, I was never like that, dog. We were kind of just like, I don't know, kind of middle of the range, kind of like not extreme. Had a normal haircut. Well, I lied. I had my hair down to my shoulders in like my junior year of high school. So that was one. But it wasn't like, oh, that's a skater dude. It was just like, that's a fat dude with long hair. So I didn't have like cool fucking labels and shit or whatever. But there was something else that actually with this that had me think of something right now. But I know what it was, because they were talking about the cartoons and shit. And I don't know what it. I don't, because it said you graduated right there. It says grad night 07. And I graduated 06. So it was funny because today, dog, they were talking about like Darkwing Duck and fucking, Rescue Rangers or whatever how they were talking about. And I commented and I said, that's old people shit. I grew up watching like Hey Arnold and shit. And then Covino goes, well, Hey Arnold is like young people shit to me. But I'm like, dog, it's not even young people shit. It's like old people shit, like to the younger kids, dog. My nieces and nephews that are 19, 20, that's old people shit. Even like 25. Hey Arnold's like old people shit, And Covino is like, oh no, it's young people shit. I'm like, nah, dog, that's just Darkwing Duck and shit. It's just really old people shit. So unless your coach digs it, then it's not old people shit,
Nah, if anything, he's probably Covino Rich's age. What, they're in their 50s, I think? Or 40.
We'll clip that for them, bro.
Coach is probably not that old, but it's crazy because that is like we're just like right under those foods, like tier wise, right? As far as that shit goes, because I don't remember. I guess maybe because they didn't have cable and shit, but I don't remember that shit either, bro. I was the Hey Arnold. Was it one Saturday mornings food that on?
Well, should we bring up the shit that you had sent that we could actually pull up? And I keep forgetting to change screens. So right now, dog, you're getting a lot of love today because I leave it on you for a minute. But there was, let me see if I can pull this one up. Right here, dog. Here's one that I'm sharing, and it's the Nickelodeon, dog. June 13th, 1996. So this is what, 30 years ago? Dog, this is
basically
June 13th, 96. So 30 years ago, dog. This is the lineup. We have Flipper, Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's funny, dog. It says at 8:30, you can watch Gumby, which is funny, dog, because I remember watching Gumby as a kid, even though it's from like the 30s or whatever. And because they would show like a newer version of Gumby and reruns and shit. So I remember Gumby, even though it was like a super old people shit. But dog, right there off to the right, you see Melissa Joan Hart with Clarissa Explains It All. Dog, It is so funny because like as an adult or like even like growing up after Clarissa Explains It All, like when she was like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and all that shit, I never found her attractive, dog. I never thought like she was hot or nothing. She's not ugly. She just was never my flavor, But dog, growing up, Clarissa Explains It All, I was in love with this bitch, dog. Like, I thought she was fucking it. And I could even hear like the little theme song where it's like da 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 da. And dog, when I would hear that, I was like, fuck yeah, dog. I was like, Clarissa's about to come, and she had like her best friend that would come in the window and shit, and like every other 90s show, But it's so funny because I'm like, it's so crazy because you would think that being a fan of somebody like that, where I was like, I was in love with this bitch. As soon as she turned into like Sabrina, and like I was like, this bitch, I don't even feel her. I don't know. Maybe by that time I was in like Britney Spears or some shit. But there's the lineup for you guys. There's freaking Doug. Doug was also my shit. Rugrats was more like my sister shit because she's younger than I am. But for me, Doug, Clarissa Explains It All, dog, and fucking let me see, Gullah Gullah Island, also my sister shit. But a lot of this, dog, what from this lineup, what was like your shit?
Doug for sure. I did watch Rugrats, and I seen some shit on Instagram the other day where like crazy assumptions, whatever. Did you ever hear about like I don't know what the little girl's name was, but supposedly like this whole shit was made up. Like Rugrats was made up around her because like she had no siblings, and so like she imagined all this shit. Like she was the only child and shit. There's like some crazy
No, I completely didn't hear any of that.
aluminum. I'll have to look into that. I just seen it. I was like, bro, what the fuck? That's kind of crazy. But Beetlejuice, the cartoon. I mean, that's old school, bro. I'm a Halloween guy, so I used to love waiting for Beetlejuice and shit. That was. I never watched the Muppet Babies. I was like too little kid shit for me. But
Yeah.
the rest of it was pretty.
Doug,
Beetlejuice. Damn,
Rupert.
Beetlejuice lined up.
That's
Alvin and the
that's
Chipmunks.
unlocking a memory, dog. Because I never watched Rupert, but just hearing that name, it takes me back to '96. You know?
Oh, Funky Monkey called Angelica. Yeah, that's right. Angelica was like something made up, or like, hey, she had this whole big old, like she was the only child. There was some sad emo shit behind it, like why she imagined all these little kids around her because she didn't have anybody or some shit like that. But
Um,
you know what's funny? Nick at Night was badass too. I would always wait up for that shit.
hold on. Oh shit, hold on. I was trying to. Reinhardt, what do you call it? I see Reinhardt says check your text. We can't right now. I know he wants to do a call in just because I'm not 100% positive we have this figured out. But we'll see if we could figure it out. If you want, give us an update in the chat. But man, let me see. Let me see. Rupert, Beetlejuice, Muppet Babies. Doug was the shit, dog. I think Doug was like the ultimate cartoon, dog, when you're like, I'm growing up, but I still want to watch cartoons, you know? It's that phase, dog, where you like boobs and cartoons still, you know? You kind of have to make a choice, and at some point you have to let the cartoon go and just go straight for the boobs. It was, dog, that's kind of where Doug falls into my life, where you're like...
Hey, was he in high school? Were they in high school or middle school?
I think they were in... I wanted to say middle school, but do you remember Roger? Like the mean one or whatever? He had like a leather jacket.
He had like the
dog.
greaser jacket.
Yeah,
he had, like,
I thought
the
he
little
drove and shit.
and shit. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Because in my mind, they're always like in like junior high. But I feel like maybe Roger was in junior high as well, but he was just held back. It could be that too, dog. I don't know.
That fool was a greaser, like the greaser punk kid.
Yeah, he was. But and then
because didn't he have a chick? Wasn't his chick like the blue girl or whatever? Or was that his best friend or something? Doug's girlfriend.
Doug was in love. Dog. Now we're gonna nerd out over this shit. So Doug was in love with Patty Mayonnaise, right? His best friend was Skeeter. Skeeter was the blue dude, right?
Right?
And then Roger was green. And and then their favorite rock band, dog, was called the Beats. Do you remember the Beats, Doug? Oh, it was the Beats, like the vegetable, the BEET, and so the Beats was their shit, dog. There was episodes about them going to like concerts and shit, but a little TMI for some people who don't give a shit about this, but that was cool, dog. Doug was my shit growing up. Angelica, Pete and Pete, and Salute Your Shorts. Salute Your Shorts, was that the one that had Camp Anawana, we hold you in our hearts, and when we think about you, it makes me want to fart. I don't know if it was that one. Rocket Power. So Leonardo says Rocket Power. See, Rocket Power was a little bit after my time, so that was more like my sister shit. But Rocket Power with the little fat kid with glasses, I always related to him. And then they had what was it? Otto and did you ever like fuck with Rocket Power?
Nah.
Yeah, because that was like a little after our time, right?
Probably.
But
I was chasing Chi-Chis by then.
See, I was too, but my sister was growing up watching that shit, so it was always kind of in the background for me, like Rugrats was, and Gullah Gullah Island and things like that. But let me see, Pete and Pete, I never watched that, even though I've heard good shit about that. And let me see, what about Bobby's World, dog? That's not on here, but did you ever watch Bobby's World?
Oh, that was gangster, yeah.
Dog. Yeah. You remember his uncle, dog? His uncle would come into town, and he was like the coolest Uncle Ted or some shit was his name. Oh, he was always the one, hey, Bobo! And then Bobby would come with his big ass head and shit. Oh, yeah. Dog. I'm having some flashbacks right now. But yeah, dog. So many things. So I'm so glad that you sent me this, especially since they were talking about the cartoons and shit. So keep them coming in the chat. If there's any cartoons that from that, Reinhardt says Animaniacs. You know what's funny is that I was never a fan of the Animaniacs, only because there was somebody that I knew that liked them that I didn't like. So I was like, fuck that, dog. I'm not gonna be an Animaniacs, be like that bitch ass motherfucker, you know? So it's so funny because I probably would have enjoyed it, but nah. And the last one I'm gonna talk about, and only reason why is because this came up the other day. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know what we were talking about, but my lady said something, and I said, "Oh, like CatDog." Do you remember that cartoon?
Oh, yeah, I used
Doug,
to love that show
I
too.
even go, Doug, again, memory unlocked. So I had never, ever, in 30 years probably, haven't thought about CatDog, right? And then I said something. I said, like, oh, you like CatDog? And my wife goes, what? And I go, one fine day, with a wolf and a bird, a baby was born. And do you remember that was their fucking something, 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 no three-eyed frog, just a little cat dog, cat dog? Cat dog. That was like the theme song. Doug, how does that shit happen where some shit gets unlocked in your brain and then like even the theme song comes back to you, dog? That's crazy because that shit's been filed back in one of those folders in the back of my ass for like the last like 25, 30 years. But let's go.
You got plenty. You got plenty of folder file back there, fool?
I do, Doug. Even though I have no ass, if you ask my daughter, she'll be like, "Mommy, Daddy has no butt," and I'm like, "Hey, go clean your room. This is bullshit."
You got the Beatles ass, the negative ass,
Yeah,
the John Lennon ass.
Yeah, Doug. How come? Why is it, Doug? The fatter you get, the less ass you have. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying, Doug? Where do you want to go next with the pictures, Doug? There's a couple more that you have here.
What you got?
We have, since we're going to talk about 96 nostalgia and shit, should we bring this bad boy up? The machines that you would put like a quarter in, push and pull back, dog. And then when you would do that, it would have a little, a freaking little, what was it? Like a little cardboard box that had your sticker in there, dog. And then you can take that shit out and put it on your, put like on your folders and shit on your wall or whatever. But the reason why this one actually ended up coming up on Covino and Rich was because there was actually, I guess, like everybody's crazy about cards right now, right? Pokemon cards, NBA cards, even UFC cards, right? If you get them graded and shit, they could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, I guess they have a card that was even more rare than like a Jordan, Tops or whatever, was a Jordan card that came out of here. Because the reason why it was so rare is because so many people, as soon as you'd get this, you'd open up the little flap and had that little perforated edge, right, where it was like little dots because it would rip off if you wanted to, and then you'd get your shit and you would stick it on something. So they're more rare right now because how many people got it, dog, looked at it and was like, hell yeah, and closed it and kept it in pristine condition? Nobody, dog. So that one, I think they had said one sold for like $58,000 or some shit. It was on Overpromise on the last Covino and Ridge.
They talked about it. That's crazy. And you know what's funny? Like, I remember getting like, it just depended. I don't know if Coach is still here, but there was this famous little spot by the school. It was called Troy's Burger. And I mean, it was almost like a little mom and pop spot, but that's where I used to go, and at least one of them. But I remember getting like, that's where you would get the badass Pokemon cards that you couldn't get anywhere because that's where they were like the fake Chino ones, bro. Like they look fake as fuck. Like they didn't even look. They were like purple and shit. Like they didn't even look the same. But I remember getting like WWF cards, WWF stickers. That's where you would get your old school like the little barbed wire or the tribal tattoos and shit. Fuck, I remember getting so much stickers and stuff out of that. Shit was bad, bro. I missed that shit.
Doug,
the little sticky hands, the little hands. It was like, little.
Doug, in like 5 minutes, they had lint and freaking all kinds of bellows and dog little all kinds of shit, and you were still sticking it to your brother's face and shit. Dog, that shit
You
was.
just put it in soap. Put it in soap and then get it all clean.
It was crazy too, because do you remember, Doug? It would have like when you would get that, there was like the little one, and then they had one that was like standard, like maybe the size of like a $50, and then you would get the one, dog, that was like as big as like a fly swatter, like the big one, dog. Oh, and then you know what would suck, dog, is when you were having all kinds of fun and you would throw it and it would fucking rip. The little colita would rip off and shit, dog, and you would be holding a little nub like this, and your shit went flying or whatever. Oh, dog, now you had to play with it without the original little handle, like the little end piece. Now you had to hold it from a part that was ripped off. And once that integrity was broken, dog, it was never the same.
It was over.
It was over, dog.
You know what's crazy, too? Covino was talking about how at his house, because, his dad, it was an old school machine guy, they had the old school scale. that you would put a quarter in and shit, and it weighs you. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you know what I remember too? I think it was like at my old school like hair salon when I was a kid, like when they put me on a little seat and shit to get my hair cut. They used to have one that you would put a quarter in, and a balloon would come out in a little in one of those little containers, and then it had like a hand pump. It was like the thing would look like a clown, and at the top of the machine it was a clown, and it had like a little fucking knob at the top. And like I don't know if it was like the nose or the hand. It was like a pump, fool. So you would put a quarter in, the balloon would come out. You would get your balloon, you'd put it on the top of the clown, and then you would like pump that shit up. And it was basically it would just fill up your balloon, and you could take your balloon off and then tie it up, and you had a fucking free balloon.
Doc, did you ever have the stupid ass little, I don't know why we had one, but it was like a punching bag with a little bit of sand at the bottom, and it was like a clown or something, Doug? And you fucking
Yep.
Dog, those things were so fucking stupid. But I was like 7 years old, dog, and I'd have such a ball hitting those things. And dog, you would barely tap it, and that shit would go flying. Sometimes the whole chingadera would go around your room because the sand wasn't heavy enough. And dog, but those things were. It was around the same time, dog, that we would buy like boxing gloves from the swap meet. Dog, and we had like American flag boxing gloves, Mexico boxing gloves, dog. Like you always got some that had like a little design on them. Oh, dog, bring back the fucking 90s, dog. We started another podcast, call it Bring Back the 90s.
Too much shit.
But after all of this stuff, you start to discover women. And there's another thing that you had me share, or you would like me to share. Are you ready for that one?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So this is another one. And you said this was Emily Ratatouille or some shit?
Yeah, Ratajkowski, whatever.
Oh, so this is her. It looks like she's fake breastfeeding or she's breastfeeding a fake baby.
Yeah, I saw it on TMZ. I don't know what it was for, but it was the day that Rich was talking about. I don't know. Oh, they were making fun of Rich, how he has his algorithm and IG, and they're like, his spot was like, oh, what, you were seeing breastfeeding videos or whatever? And so he's like, no, actually, I wasn't. But my friend, he's like, I just seen like my friend's wife, like. He's like, I've actually like not watched their seen her, like just flop it out and like get the baby to suck on it, and everyone thought it was funny. So, I guess my backstory to that was we always gave Rich shit that he never saw any titties, but if he's saying he saw his homie's wife breastfeed his kid, so we're gonna have to change that narrative. And I guess Rich did see titties.
You know what?
You think that fool was staring?
I don't think he was staring, but I guarantee you he looked, because this fool was trying to say no. He tried to take the grown approach of no, this is natural. And dog, I'm like, dog, if anybody is gonna sneak a peek, it's gonna be Rich Davis, dog. He's the biggest fucking pervert, dog. And I'm like, as dudes, most of us are fucking pervs. Like, I remember one of my good friends, dog. Him and his cousin were talking, and his cousin was like, "We perverts, cuz." And I'm like, dog. For the most part, dudes are pervs, right? So, but Rich, dog, trying to act like, oh no, when it has to do with his friend's wife, now all of a sudden he's Richie Goody Two Shoes or whatever, But dog, I do have something to share with you guys, because I brought this up a few episodes ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pull it up real quick. Because he did it all over again. That's one thing about Rich Davis, dog, is he never disappoints. I'll just say that much, because there was something. Do you remember? Here, let me see if I can go to the screen real quick. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, I had talked about Rich Davis, and he said whenever he talks about his buddy Jensen, what does he always follow it with? Who is Jensen? Who is Jensen? If you can tell me real quick, Luis.
Topanga's husband, ain't it?
Yeah, so every time Rich brings up Jensen, it's never my buddy Jensen. It's always Jensen, husband of Danielle Fishel. And I said this like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, dog, if it's really your buddy, why don't you just say my buddy Jensen? Right? Dog, if I don't say, oh, my buddy Covino, son of Hortensia and Big Steve. No, you say my buddy Covino. Right? You don't say their fucking relationship to somebody else, right? You don't say, hey, Daniel Javier Fitz, a brother of Julie. You're like, dog, that's stupid, right? But just like I said the other day, let's go ahead and let's bring up Rich Davis real quick.
Our buddy Jensen, who's a big Knicks fan, Daniel Fishel's husband.
Dog, our buddy Jensen, he's a big Knicks fan. leave it at that and finish your story. But he has to throw in this, Doug.
Our buddy Jensen, who's a big Knicks fan, Daniel Fishel's husband.
Doug.
Name drop.
Like, who gives a shit who he's married to, Doug? Like, oh, my buddy Rich, husband of Sarah. Like, Doug. Again.
Our buddy Jensen, who's a big Knicks fan, Daniel Fishel's husband. He was saying,
what was he saying, Rich? Can't you just tell us without being like freaking my buddy Jensen and his famous wife? Like, Doug, what about Jensen? Jensen produces a lot of shit, right? Give him some fucking credit. My buddy Jensen, he's a producer in the entertainment world, blah, blah, blah. If you want to give people their flowers, say that, Doug. Say, if he's really your buddy, tell us about Jensen. We don't give a shit about Topanga, right? I mean, I like Topanga. She's cool. I listen to her podcast. Whatever. I'm a fan. But why do we have to say Jensen, husband of Danielle Fishel? That'll never make sense to me, Doug.
Maybe because he knows you're a fan of hers when it's like a backdoor jab at you. Fool.
Oh, you know what?
The plot thickens.
It might be, Doug. He's actually saying, "Hey, Doug, here, this one's for you." Funky Monkey said, "Of course, he was staring at the friend, feeding or whatever." And then Fournier says, "Man, I haven't seen one of those in forever." And then, Reinhardt says we had a Rocky punching bag. You know what though, Reinhardt, you got a couple years on me, so that probably would have been big around the time Rocky was coming up. By the time I freaking was coming up, Doug, Rocky had been out of the theaters for like 20 years, and it was just like, here's a fucking generic clown that you can punch, Doug. And it's so funny, Doug, because you know how as an adult you're like, man, fuck that dude, he's a fucking clown. And whoever was designing the punching bags back in the day were like, you always want to fuck up a clown, some fucking clown. And they did like a literal clown. I'm like, dog, that was some fucking like third degree shit that people like boom, boom, boom. Like you said, put on your tinfoil hat, dog. I think that's what people are doing right there.
Oh shit.
So yeah, let me know where you want to go next. If not, dog, I have diarrhea of the mouth today.
No worries. Hey, you know what's funny? I gotta clean up my statements here. We had Covino tell us how he fixed his dryer, bro. Like all of a sudden, all the shit that we've been talking that they're not blue collar boys and they don't know how to do shit. And I still won't give him all the credit because it had to be Jordan to fucking be like, hey, we should fix it, open it up and shit. But it was funny because I've taken dryers and washers apart because I'm brown and I'm good with my hands and shit. You already know, but I can imagine the shit he found in there. Have you ever taken one apart and just seen like the madness that's behind there?
No, I haven't. But the thing, dog, that I of course want to give him his flowers, right? He looked up a video, he did it, good for him. However, real quick, dog, and I love Covino to death, but dog, the amount of bitching that went into it before he did it is just like, dog. So I don't know, Doug. I don't know. Maybe I just, I don't know. Maybe it's because, like you said, maybe because we're brown. And I'm as brown as I can be for being not brown or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm as white as I could be for being brown. But Doug, and again, I know Covino says this. Oh, I have to give an opinion because I'm on a radio show. Okay, cool. And you know what? Maybe you didn't say any of this to Jordan, right? Maybe she was like, Steve, we need to go do this. And maybe in your head, you're like, como chinga es usted? You're like, or es chica or whatever. I don't know. He always says chingadela. So I'm trying to do it in Covino terms. He never says chingadera. It's always chingadela. So I'm trying to think of how Covino's thinking, right? But Doug, whether or not he said this out loud to her, obviously he's thinking about it because he's like, I just wanted to kick it and watch the Yankees or whatever he said, Doug. So yes, give him props for doing it. But Doug, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just like, there's just, as like they say, as a man, don't you just suck it up and do it and you just don't even think twice? I'm like, because Doug, I know one, it's going to have to still be done, right? Two, me bitching about it is not going to change that. If it's in my head or it's out loud, dog, just don't bitch about it. Just do it. Right. I think it's just, I don't know. But to answer your question, I have never pulled one apart, dog. So I can't even imagine. I I've had my washer for a few years, Doug. We've never pulled it apart. I wonder if I should and see if there's any. Covino said like 50 articles of clothing in there.
Hey, you might find Melody's earring in your fucking dryer, fool.
Dog. That's another thing. If you guys missed that story, Covino, we'll go ahead and get into it. Thanks for the transition, Al Yoop right here. But Covino had these earrings, right, that he got, for Melody. Would you say that? And Doug, and he had these, and he was like, I'm going to give these to my daughter when she turns 16. She's old enough to appreciate them, this and this and this. So if you guys don't know the story, Covino gave Melody these earrings. And I remember when he gave them to her, and he told us, he was like, dude, she was fucking, or he said it on the air, she was so fucking happy. She couldn't believe it. Dad, are you serious? Right? Now, fast forward 6 months, and she has to go to London. She's gonna go with her mom for a few months or a week or I don't know, dog. She's going with her mom. And what does Melody not have, dog? She only has one earring. And Covino's like, she might have put it on her little tray that's next to the trash can, dog. So that earring might be long gone. I want to know what your thoughts are on Covino's view of her being careless and him being super Mr. Save Everything guy.
I think there needs to be a balance, and I think they're like both on each side of the spectrum. And bro, she's young too. Like when you were that age, did you give a fuck about anything? I think I can probably think of like 3 things that I have from that age that I actually like give a fuck about or saved or still have. But I think Covino's the opposite. We all know that fool. That fool's like OCD about that shit. So like for him to say, I still got shit my parents gave me, I'm like, bro, if you put a poll up, I wonder how many people would say the same shit. Like I think there's a balance. I think the fact that they meant a lot to him and the fact that he took care of them and maybe they were expensive, I'm not sure. And he was like, hey, this is a genuine gift. And I think that would hurt my feelings too. Like, yo, I thought this was thoughtful and shit. And you didn't like take care of it and shit. But the fact that he was like blowing her up while she's on the other side of the fucking world and saying, hey, like what's up? Like you should be thinking about this. Like, bro, let her, like Rich said it, like, bro, let her fucking enjoy her trip and shit. Like when she gets back. But there is some carelessness there. Also, strategically, it sounds like, bro, your little jewelry tray is like right next to the fucking trash. That's probably not a smart move. But at least she had a location where she put it at, and maybe it fell out of there and she can't control that. But I mean, I've lost earrings before just talking when you fall asleep and shit. So if she put them there, I think that she's in the trash with the Bitcoin that's lost in the dumpster. But
you know what though? You know where I won't give him a hard time, dog. Even though I was bitching about, like, why do you got to complain about doing the laundry or whatever the hell, taking it apart? Where I won't give him a hard time, actually, dog, is for hitting her up while she's in London. And the reason why, dog, is because what do we think about? We think about a trip to London, right? And you're in London. What are you gonna go see, dog? You're gonna go see freaking those people that stand by like the fucking Eiffel Tower and don't smile and shit, wearing the red coats and the fucking big hats or whatever, right? You're thinking like, because everybody knows the Eiffel Tower is in London, right? But dog, you know how like they have like we're thinking about a trip to London, dog. Her mom lives in London. So you know what Melody's probably doing, Doug? Laying on her London bed and fucking texting her friends and shit. She's probably on TikTok. She's probably just doing all like living how she is at Covino's house, but in London. So that's why I don't see a big deal with it, because Doug, if I knew she was there like even for like a cheer comp, right? And she was going to be there for a week, or she was like, I know like the last time she went, she went and did all this stuff or whatever. I kind of feel like this is just her going for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, see her mom, hang out or whatever. And Doug, if you're going to go visit family and shit like that, every single day, you're not like doing something from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, especially if she's going with her mom and her mom's got 12 other kids that she has to pay attention to. Melody's probably kicking it in her room a lot of the time. So I don't see a problem with Covino being like, hey, you need to get your shit together. And if you can't even, you can't do nothing because you're on the other side of the world. But you know what you can do? You can think. And think about the last time you fucking wore them. At least that's how I would be. I would be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You're careless. I would blow up like Covino did, right? But I would be like, so you know what you can do? Sit down. If you have some time today, sit down and fucking start writing out the last time. Start looking at pictures on your phone. See the last time you were wearing them. And Doug, and eventually we'll come across them, or you'll figure out, you know what? I left them in Jennifer's bag. I left the one because I took it out because my ear was bothering me or some shit. But Doug, I don't see, that's the one thing where I think a lot of people are against Covino, because I definitely heard it on the show. But that's one where I'm like, I don't give a shit, dog. I don't care if she's in London with her mom. I'd fuck up her mom's day and make her all make fucking Melody upset and make her take it out on her mom. Like it happens half the time. Or Melody is mad at something else and she has an attitude with Covino. Now that she's with her mom, fuck it. Fuck up her day and let her mom fucking hear it. That's all, though.
Yo, I'm gonna light up a candle for the earring today, just in memory of the ring. Hey, this fool has crazy luck though. I feel like it's gonna pop out somewhere random. Like let's wait it out like a week or, well, I don't know when the fuck she's gonna come back, but whenever she comes back, let's wait about a couple episodes on ours, and we'll be like, hey, fool, did we get an update? Did you find it or what? Because I don't think it's lost. I don't think it just misplaced. An earring's hard to fucking find too, bro. You know what he should get? I don't know. I think it's gold, like a magnet. Just kind of look for it, you know what I mean? And just
that would be a good idea, right? But dog, check this out. So this is completely not even close to the same thing. But just talking about things you lost, right? And you find or whatever, or you don't find. Dog, I wish I had my badge from work with me. But on it, I have a little key that goes to certain shit, right? And dog, I had this key was lost for probably 2 months, dog, right? And just the other day, I reached into a pants pocket that I have washed 30 times, dog. Worn them, different occasions, right? Thought about throwing them out, dog. Should I keep them, dog? The other day, just so happened, I reached my hand into that pocket and I found that stupid ass key. So, Covino, I guess point of the story is don't lose hope. It might turn up in the last place you ever think about it, dog. Yeah, so I feel like there's still a chance for it to turn up. Fournier said, shame on Covino for not expressing how expensive they were. I didn't hear that part. Did he not tell her that they were thousands of dollars? Because, dog, I feel like, but at the same time, my daughter's 10. So I'm thinking if I told her, hey, this is worth $50,000, she would be like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't really give a shit about money. And think about Melody. If she's going out with her friends and shit and she's going to go buy Chipotle and shit or whatever, she either has her own fucking card or she takes Covino. So does she know the concept of money, dog, at 16 yet? And she's not working, I don't know. So I agree with Fournier there. If Covino did say it may have helped out the situation, but I don't know.
I think it's the principle or the idea behind it, right? I don't think you necessarily have to tell somebody. I get where you're coming from, but it should just be don't take care of your shit.
Doesn't matter if it's a dollar.
Doesn't matter what it costs, especially if it's a thoughtful gift from your fucking dad, who I'm assuming she knows the whole backstory to that shit too, or where I don't know if she does, right? How they came to be or whatever. But even then, hey, I got this. I thought about it. Take care of it. It's something special. Because you give it to her on her 16th birthday, I think. So it's hey, it was for your 16th yet. Here you go. You know what I mean? And so, I think that in itself was probably what would upset. I don't have any kids for that fucking same reason, but that's what probably would upset him the most, probably.
Doug, so Funky Monkey, she said, man, my kids would just tell me to buy a new earring. And that's the thing, is that the kids nowadays, dog, I just don't, or maybe it's just we were like that as kids too, we didn't really get the concept of money. But for real, dog, I just feel like kids nowadays just don't really fucking care or something. I don't know. But then Lisa said, thanks, Lisa, for being here. I didn't even know you were in here, Lisa. But Lisa said, I found a necklace I thought I lost a year or more before in my car. Oh, wait. I found a necklace I thought I lost a year or more before in my car when I was trading it in. So a year, she lost a necklace about a year before she was going to trade her car in. And then was going to trade her car in and found it. So Doug, that's just, again, Doug, and isn't that the weirdest shit where you could lose something, Doug, like Lisa said, for a freaking year, right? Me, that key, Doug, I had worn those pants. I had washed those pants. I had been all up in them pockets, right? Like Covino and Richie say, all up in that crevice, right? Butt crack sex. Well, Doug, I was all up in them pockets. Never once, dog. That's where I think, dog, maybe we might be living in a simulation. Because, dog, there's no way in hell that shit was not there. And then Lisa, gonna trade her car in. Oh, hey, Mr. Necklace, there you are. I don't know, dog. To me, it feels like there's something freaky going on right there. I totally get the concept of money. Let me see Fournier real quick. I totally get the concept of money because we didn't have any growing up. I think that might be a lot of us, dog, is that you never had money for shit as a kid. So maybe that's why you knew. Like, now you're just like, do you understand how much that is? Like, Doug, like, I remember one time, and I've told this story before. One time we were leaving the airport. We have a tiny ass airport, dog. It's like the size of Walmart. And we were leaving it, and their little shit to like charge your card when you're leaving or whatever, like for the 15-minute parking or whatever, it kept declining because not because my card was fucked up, because the machine was fucked up. And my daughter, dog, at the time she was like 4 or 5, and she's looking at me and she goes, "Well, you ain't got no money." And I was like, "Hey, you little shit, I have money. It's just the terminal's fucked up, so we had to go to the other one." And we got out of there because I did have money, right? But she's like, she looks at me, dog, like, "You poor bitch." Like, dog, just do you remember Kevin Hart had an old special where he said his daughter was like, and he said that he was like, the reason why he was mad is because in her mind, she knew what she was saying. She's like, "You punk midget bitch." And dog, that's how I felt when my daughter was like, "What, you ain't got no money?" I was like, "Girl, you just, oof. Looked a million times and washed my car every month." Exactly, Lisa. I don't get it, dog. If you're Catholic, you gotta pray to Saint Anthony. All right. Steve said he did tell her to keep them in the box they were in. Psh, dog.
I think the worst part is like when you're crazy frantically looking for something, because it happened to me. I thought I lost my wallet one time and it was in my car in a fucked up spot, kind of like what Rich said. Cooler heads prevail. Like, it's usually when you're least expecting, you're like, "Oh fuck, like this is where this shit's at." Like, you just randomly find it. I think that's the worst, but the best feeling too. But I mean, I've thought I've lost a couple things. And sometimes I swear I'm like, am I going fucking crazy, bro? Like, I just fucking put this shit right here and shit, you know what I mean? And I can't seem to find it, but hopefully it works out, bro.
Dog, what is that phenomenon? Because the other day I had some little cream, dog. I have fucking psoriasis shit on my elbows. You see this shit? It's fucking gross. Anyway, sorry I had to show that to you guys. We'll blur it out in the post-production. But dog, I was looking for this cream that I have for it, right? Dog, this is literally me that day. Dog, I was like, "Where the fuck is this cream?" I was like, "Dog," and I started looking and I was like, "Fuck, dog." And I was like, "I know it's right. Where is it?" Dog, I was moving shit. I was like, and I was finally like, "Dog, I don't know where the fuck." Oh shit, dog. It was in my hand. No lie, for probably like 4 minutes before I realized it. I went looking through the whole house, dog. I always carry a backpack with me like a 4th grader. I was going, dog, through my backpack. I started thinking, did I leave it at work? Dog, it was in my hand the whole time. What the hell is that? That there has to be a name for it. If my buddy Johnny was here, he would be like,
put their glasses on their head, or like, "I can't find my fucking glasses. Dog. Like, I don't know where they're at." Like,
exactly,
bro, you're fucking dope.
like it's just, I don't know what that's called. My buddy Johnny, if he was here, he would say it's called being a fucking dumbass. That's one thing I could always count on Johnny to tell you some shit like that, dog. Like, I remember one time, dog, him and I were having a conversation, and I was like, "Dog," I was like, "I don't know what it is about like lately, dog." I was like, "But I've just been so fucking emotional." And dog, you want to know what my best friend told me at the time, dog? He said, "I think that just means you're a little bitch." Dog,
suck it up, fool.
Dog, so I'm like, all right, dog, you're right. So,
hey, that's a real homie right there, dog.
Right, dog, you can't sometimes, dog, because I'm like, dog, I don't know what's going on, dog. I'm just feeling lately, dog, I've been like crazy emotional. Like, I don't know why. He's like, "Dog, I know why. I think that's just called you're being a little bitch." I'm like, "Oh, all right then." And then we started the after show, dog. So
no manches.
Oh, yeah, dog. Let me see. Oh, I have to praise Rich, dog. Let me go ahead and pull this out real quick. We never praise Rich on here, so I have to, dog. And this is another homie telling you something, dog. So Rich, he suggested a Netflix documentary, Motherly Instinct. Have you seen it?
I heard him talking about it, and I was talking shit. I was like, weak, but I've seen people been talking about it. So give us the background.
You exactly okay, Doug. So my homie Luis, right? He was just in town this last weekend, and I was telling him, I was like, Doug, I was telling him how much I love that crime shit, right? Fucking if somebody ends up dead, dog, I'm like, fuck yeah, dog. I gotta watch this shit. And my buddy goes, Doug, he's like, isn't crime shit like bitch shit? Like, don't fucking bitches like that shit? And I was like, yeah, dog. I know that in like the chick world, it's like huge, right? But dog, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dog. I will watch crime documentary after crime documentary, dog. And this one that Rich, as much corny, crappy shit that Rich, suggests or recommends, this shit was good, dog. And the only reason I could tell you it's so good is because this bitch, dog, if you've ever known somebody crazy in your life, dog, this bitch said, hold my cup. Because this bitch, dog, is so fucking crazy, dog. I've known some crazy pathological liars in my life. Dog, this shit was like 4 levels higher than they could ever go, dog. I have friends that straight up completely, are full of shit. This lady, dog, was like full of shit and evil, dog, like evil to where dog, she did some unforgivable, dog. This shit is gonna rot in hell fucking longer than the devil's gonna be there, dog. This bitch is fucking a piece of fucking trash, dog. So if you haven't watched it, it's called Motherly Instinct. Fournier says it was trending again. That's why Rich watched it, right? Because we all know when it comes to music, movies, or TV, Rich only consumes things that are spoon fed to him. And so yeah, this one was trending, and I actually didn't know about it until Rich mentioned it. So that one was a good one, though. It's called Motherly Instinct on Netflix. It's like an hour long, hour and a half maybe at the most. And this shit was so good, dog. This was so good. But yeah, like, dog, like right now, there was a new 2020 that came out like over the weekend or some shit. And they started, and they're talking about some chick that was getting stalked, right? And she's telling like her side of the story. I'm like, dog, this episode fucking sucks because that bitch is alive, right? They're only good, dog, when the people are like murdered and shit, and they found them like fucking buried, underneath somebody's house and shit. Those are good. This one I'm watching, I'm like, dog, she's telling us her story. This shit fucking sucks. So that's why I'm only like halfway through it, because I'm like, I've lost interest already, But anyway, dog, I'll let you speak.
Nah, we're good. I know Rich kind of was almost gonna spoil it for everybody, so I'll have to put it on my queue. But I did see Michael finally. Oh, Michael, you crazy!
I still haven't, Doug. But you know what's funny?
I seen it.
Is that I don't know, Doug, if I'm not in a rush to watch it, because I love Doug. Michael's my favorite artist of all time, right? But I don't know if, to me, I'm not as intrigued. Like, I do want to watch it. I know it's going to be good. But the reason I think I'm not as intrigued, and like I didn't have to see it that second, is because it's about him and it's not him. You know what I'm saying? Like when This Is It came out after he died, dog, me and my buddy Luis and my buddy Chris, we went to the theater and we watched it. 3 grown-ass Mexicans over 6 feet tall, dog, and we look gay as fuck, dog. All of us going to watch that. Gay. But I'm just saying, like, so this, I'm like, I know it's gonna be dope, and I'm gonna watch it. But what's your review on it?
It's funny. Like my mom, much like Hortensia, and even my dad, like growing up, I mean, fucking Michael Jackson, everything, like at the pad. I don't know if it was because that fool was weird, or like I didn't know all the bullshit behind it. I don't think I ever like really dove into who he was. Like I knew he was this fucking big ass person and everything about him, but I once I saw it, I was like, fuck, I felt like Melody, like I was like, yo, that fool did that shit. And like, oh, that shit happened. So like, there was things that I guess I never really had the whole story, I guess. And I never really dove in. Like, I knew the songs that everybody knows and shit. So to see his backstory and like how his dad was a piece of shit and all that. I was like, yo, that maybe explains why, some of the shit he did or didn't happen with him. So I was really intrigued, and like the whole night after that, like fucking reading shit, Wikipedia, watching all the music videos behind the scenes shit like that. So like I'm still like right in the middle of it trying to like piece all that shit together on my own little way because I guess I never fully understood the enormity of who he
Mhm.
was. And it's kind of fucking crazy to just see how like everything just how he commanded that attention. And he was the shit, bro. And that's a good way to aspire to be. I mean, to be the best. And his mom told him he believed it, and he was, bro. And I think it's inspiring, but also think it's sad and tragic how everything happened and how
Yeah,
how it ended. But definitely, it was a great movie, dude.
yeah. I do want to watch it. And I think, Doc, there. You want to hear something crazy? So, in the old version of basically Michael, there was an old movie called The Jacksons: An American Dream, which I've talked about, ad nauseum here. But that movie, Jason Weaver, the one who sang for Simba on The Lion King, Jonathan Taylor Thomas did the voice, but whenever Simba was singing, it was Jason Weaver. He also played little Michael Jackson in The Jacksons: An American Dream. Well, the dude that played grown Michael, he was like 24 or something, right? Doug, like a year after that documentary or that movie about their life aired in like 93 or some shit, motherfucker died like a year later. And so it's so crazy, dog, because the guy that played, he did a job, I mean, as good as Jafar, right? Who's Michael's nephew. And I was looking this dude up recently and I was like, oh, whatever happened to him? And I was like, he died like a year after that shit. So it's just crazy, dog. There's so much tragic shit, I think, wrapped around him and even the movies and shit that people were involved in about him. But yeah, dog, I have to finally watch it, and I have to move quick because at this time it's probably only gonna be in the theaters for so long.
I got it on Super Box, homie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I have a Super Box.
Well, that's another thing we have to talk about, dog. You want to go ahead and talk about Covino and Rich? Their question was, are you a piece of shit if you stream shit?
Yeah, I'm not gonna burn my spot, but I don't give a fuck, bro. You know how much money I donated for fucking ever paying stupid ass price shit that I'm like, fuck that. This is like one way to beat the man and shit. So I am not opposed to having like hack boxes or whatever.
100%, right?
Because fuck that. It's just some of those are stupidly overpriced. You know what I mean?
Doug,
But
no, and the thing is, Doug, we as red-blooded Americans, right, spend so much money, dog, that it was cut the cord, save money, cut the cord. Dog, I spend more money now on entertainment, TV and shit, like as far as like Paramount, right? You have Netflix, Hulu, freaking even there's a Gas Digital, another like a podcasting company I like. Gas Digital, I subscribe to them. Covino Rent on Patreon. Dog, you know how much money we pay fucking nowadays to be entertained? Fuck that, dog. If I wasn't so lazy, I would cut all that shit off and watch everything illegally. 100%, dog. The only thing is I'm too fucking lazy, dog. Where I'm like, fuck that, dog. Am I gonna want to go to like you said, your super box or whatever the fuck, dog, or power box or whatever the hell it is, your fucking power wheel. Doug, for me, I'm like, there's websites I have that 100% never fail, right? So dope, dog. Could watch anything. But every time I'm going to watch something, fuck that, dog. I'd rather just fucking have my Netflix and shit.
I owe Covino one. Actually, the guy I know disappeared for a while, but he's back now. So I told him I'd hook him
He
up.
disappeared for a while, dog. He had to go do time, huh?
I know
He
a
got
guy
sent
who
up
knows
for a
guy.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're up against the time unless you got to roll.
Yeah, dog. No, I just saw that right now. It was funny because I just said that I was looking at the time. But what do you call it? Let me see if there's anything else real quick that I think we need to get to. Oh, real quick, my last thought, Doug. One thing that I never had, and maybe it's because this was white people shit to me. They talked about the corn on the cob and the little picos that you put,
yeah.
the yellow ones, and eat your shit, dog. Fuck that. And my family, Doug, they were like, you get your hands all fucking dirty and you fucking, we're not gonna, Doug, think about how many little Mexican kids there are in our families, dog. You think they have fucking little picos for everybody, dog? Fucking 30 kids, including family and shit. We never had that shit. Did you guys have those growing up?
I know what they are. We didn't have any, and when we needed one, or for someone who was a fucking not a paisa, we used the fork, motherfucker. Stick a fork in that bitch, and
Thank you.
But, yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, dog, this episode flew by so fast. Luis, again, I appreciate your time as always. So much fun. You know, you make it go so fast. And everybody that joined us live, thank you so much. And everybody, future dudes, I know there's like 2 or 3 episodes I'm behind on getting them uploaded. So Fournier, I'm going to be there eventually. But after show, but later, catch us on all social media at After Show BL. Find us on Patreon, patreon.com/TASBL. And if you don't know how to get there, it's the first word or first letter of every word in the After Show, but later. So patreon.com/TASBL. You can join live. I mean, you can join for free if you want. And the reason I just say that is because sometimes I forget to post links and shit, and they'll always be on Patreon. So patreon.com/the After Show, but later, or TASBL. It's your boys, D. Luis Cortez Jr. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease